Credits. Here we go again. Four more shots, please. इंसाफ चाहिए, न्याय चाहिए, दे सकते हो. La 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 lolly lolly, la 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 lollipop, la 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 lolly lolly, la 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 lollipop.
दिहाड़ी में 3 रुपए बढ़ाने को बोली थी वो लोग.
कितने रुपए?
3 रुपए.
Everybody on the dance floor now. कोई भी मुश्किल हो, just dance it out.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Finally, I see you like this.
Shall cheers you with my cup of coffee.
Cheers, 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 cheers.
Wow,
Cheers.
nice. Nice tigress I see there. Tiger.
Tiger. Yeah, my friend Minnie Mathur gave me this,
Okay.
these
Very
beautiful
interesting.
cups. Yeah,
So
I
tell me,
generally don't
Shani.
have coffee in
Yeah.
this. It's generally my tea cups.
Tea
but today I thought, yeah. Okay. Yeah, tell me.
You tell me what's going on. Leeches दोबारा से देखने को मिलेगा सबको. Courtesy the Bandra Film Festival, Film Caravan.
Yeah.
So you have to talk more about that.
Leeches, if you see the number of people who have seen Leeches on, because earlier it was on iTunes, or maybe it still is, and it is on Netflix, and then it was basically on most platforms. Like I think it was also on Amazon. So Film Caravan is incredible like that, Pooja and Apurva. So and so many people in random places have told me, oh, we saw that brilliant film Leeches, and I was like, oh, how did you see it? And they're like, it's there. So actually it's very intriguing. Like even if you see the poster or the trailer, it's quite an interesting, intriguing film. I actually did it in 2016. We shot for it.
Yeah.
We shot for it a while ago. And I auditioned for it, in fact. I remember going into Guneet Munga's old office. And I didn't have a burqa because I'm playing this girl who is always in the hijab. And she's a 16-year-old girl. And I had a black dupatta. So I just tied it around. And I opened the door like that. And Payal, who's the director, Payal, Sethi, she turned and she saw me. And apparently, she told me later, that I saw your face like just coming in, and when you just came in, I was like, this is Raisa, and actually they were not really prepared to start shoot, but they actually bent backwards and did the shoot really early really fast, because I didn't have dates after that, so we had to do the shoot in Hyderabad. We shot for 14 days, and it was a very, very interesting experience.
Now, I have to ask you this. Once this film was offered to you, once the audition was done with, once you happened to read the script, what was it? You call this intriguing, and obviously intriguing is the word that will come to my mind also for a person who's not yet watched the film and just seen the first look in the teaser.
Right.
Did it fascinate you that ये इस तरह की practice actually होती है? Is it like a real thing? I mean, what actually intrigued you towards, or probably reading more about it? What was your research like?
Just the script, just the script. No, there was no research. The part that I had to do really well was tie the hijab really well. And now I can just do it like in one move, those kind of things. But because we were shooting in Hyderabad, and like I told you, there was not much time. So I actually went, and a lot of people who were some of my co-actors were from there. I had a dialect coach over there. So those things one had to pick up. But also I was workshopping with the other actors. Like I was taking the workshop for them, because there were a lot of non-actors or first-time actors, in the film. So I got to spend some time, and we were shooting in real life, real locations. So it was a very real experience. Like it's a different thing. Like you're actually going into these alleys and little streets, or people's houses. You're shooting in people's houses, so it was a very real kind of experience. So I guess that's part of the research. It's all together. It's not like you take time out to research. It's not like that in cases like this. But yeah, I did it because one, it was a really, really brilliantly written material, and it was very intriguing. And the fact that and Payal used to work with and enjoy very closely over there. And if I'm not mistaken, it's called Shaheen. And the stories I heard through Payal and some of the women I met during the process of the film, I was like, oh my God, like stuff like this still happens, So the strange part was that you were actually meeting, like, I was meeting young girls in those areas where I was like, you're already thinking that will this happen to these guys or their sisters so it was very cutting it too close to reality, honestly.
Now, Women's Day is when it started streaming again because of the Bandra
Right.
Film Festival. There have been some really, really great work. If we talk about women filmmakers, women writers, women actors for that matter. And of late, we're seeing a lot of it. Of late, we're also seeing a lot of backlash against it. As an actor, as a performer who's been part of projects at the very beginning of your career, be it with Margarita, to Leeches, and then on, you have kept on, you have actually associated yourself with projects that you truly, truly believe in, not just as a performer, but also as a thinker. So where do you see this actually going? Because abhi Bombay Begums release hui, itna backlash hua ki streaming stop karni chahiye, because you can't see a dialogue from a woman through a woman, that kind of stuff is happening. And yet there are people who send you texts on Women's Day, Happy Women's Day, So all of that is also happening. Where do you see that sort of topography and the kind of mahal jiski baat hum karte hain right now, the current scenario? Kahan ja rahi hai ye cheezein? How do you actually react to it as an actor and also as a woman?
Yeah, there are too many things that you said. First of all, as creators, I mean, forget about what's happening politically. As creators, we've finally come to a place, and thanks to OTT, which has been a huge boon in terms of different kinds of storytelling, and hence a lot of women writers and filmmakers and creators are being given that kind of money to come and explore and write their stories, So that's a very, very good positive development that's happened over the past few years. So that's very important. I have always worked with, in fact, when Former Shots was being made, the first season, I realized Anu Menon was the 13th woman director I was working with. I never thought about it like that. So I didn't think about it before that, only during the promotions, we were being asked, and I was like, oh, and then I realized maybe I happen to work with women more because the stories they choose to tell are more exciting for me, the parts that write for women, performers and actors. So, so right now, obviously, the more we talk about it, things have opened up for women storytellers. But having said that, अभी तो बोलना शुरू ही किया था, और there's so much backlash, but that's backlash. That backlash is about everything now. Anything you make, there'll be 5 people getting up and saying, oh, this is annoying me, or this is against my whatever. So and the problem is there were these fringe elements earlier also. Now the problem is they are being taken seriously, and things are it's become serious, and that's the scary part. And obviously it's going south, and it's horrid, and I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, there's nothing really that surprises me anymore. I mean, yeah, we're all in this boat and wondering when will this change. I hope it changes soon enough before it's too late.
So yeah, now you have to also talk about the fact that so much of international recognition all coming your way in the, through your film, the associations, your shows. It has been a bittersweet year for you. I mean, pandemic to hai, but Emmys, Oscars, everything is happening. So how is that feeling like?
I mean, yeah, I can't complain now. Honestly, I've had a really good pandemic, and I can't complain at all. I'm very, 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 very grateful. And especially when you look around and the things people went through, and at multiple levels, so yeah, you can't help but just be grateful for what you have, and work happening, and I had 3 releases, and it was really like, so all these, like when I got to know about Emmys or say Oscars and these kind of things, it was like, okay, some good news is coming, because otherwise it's just been just such bad news after bad news. And yeah, so I think it was hard generally for everyone. And for those reasons, I think I had a really good, so I'm grateful, and that's all I can say. I mean, I'm not someone who jumps or I mean, jump with joy. I'm not that person. I take it in and I pray and I thank the universe and that, yeah, and carry on with my life.
Shiny, you're one person. Being an influencer in your own right, you don't use this platform randomly, just to post any and anything. I've seen, your tweets, be it your tweets or your Instagram posts, very thoughtful accounts. Even if you are out there to actually share a very, very good news with your followers or your fans, it's with a very, very thoughtful message, or your videos that you post. It speaks volumes about the person that you are, and also the kind of associations that you've had in the industry so far, and also otherwise, be it friends or co-actors who are now friends. So did you always feel that this is the way, or did you put in a conscious effort towards doing it? Because that's why people like you. I mean, that's why people who follow you follow you. So do you think that's a conscious effort, or do you think this just comes naturally to you?
I don't want to call myself an influencer. I hate that word. Like I hate the word celebrity, and I'm like, I'm not a celebrity, please. I'm an actor and I'm here to do my job. All of this is a byproduct there. I don't take it seriously. Having said that, of course, pandemic, this is, I mean, if it wasn't for, and I'm saying this honestly, if it wasn't a big avenue to make revenue, so I wouldn't be. There are a lot of times I have felt, especially during the pandemic, with the trolling and with what was happening, there was a lot of negativity in the social media thing, and I know you know that. I would have gone away. I mean, I would have left, social media, because it's very negative. It can be very negative. So, and I'm someone who tends to spend a lot of time on Instagram, especially not posting, but just generally scrolling, and it just takes away a lot of energy and your productive time, right? I mean, I sit with a book here and then I read like 3 pages, and then I don't even know, I find myself on Instagram accidentally. I mean, that transition from doing something else to on like social media is just so seamless, and it's almost like you don't even know your fingers have gone there, right? So that I'm very wary of, and I am trying to cut it down as much as possible. But otherwise, when I have to say anything, I just say it. I'm just myself, yeah, in everything. Like if you see my posts, it's actually quite random.
So, what we are going to do is, इससे पहले क्योंकि हमारी coffee भी ठंडी हो जाएगी, let's straight away cut to the chase and go to that segment that I was talking to you about.
I'm ready, okay.
All right. Okay. Now, the first one. Take a sip. If you were an actor today, only and only because of your father.
I don't know I'm an actor today because I want to do it, but yeah, my father's hugely responsible, probably the greatest force behind it, so yeah.
Because we were talking about how you do not come from that background, but suddenly to
not
think in that
films, but
direction
acting,
has to be a driving force.
Yeah. And he always wanted me to do NSD and go to National School of Drama, etc. So he'd also told me like very fleetingly, ek din to Bombay jana hai, things like that. So I think he's the one who sowed the seed, and like quite literally.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. Take a sip. If not many people know that you've been the voice of Apple, you're already taking a sip in India. The voice of Apple in India. Not many people know that.
Yeah, and Southeast Asia.
So I also wanted to know about in fact, take a sip. If you remember your first ever recording assignment, since your father was from All India Radio, I'm sure
I exactly know this. Yeah, in fact, yesterday only I was saying this because I'm doing something with Audible. I did a book for them. So it was really fun. So my first ever paid assignment was for a radio ad, and I got $500. I think I was 4 or 5 years old.
That's young.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've done voice work, not very regularly, but ever since. But I used to do a lot of elocution and recitation, a lot. So, and very seriously, like professionally. So, Yeah, I've always enjoyed voice work, really.
And because it was there in your family, and the fact that you must have gotten attuned to it very, very early on because you've seen your father do that. And
Yeah,
radio,
yeah,
उस ज़माने में तो सब कुछ ही होता था. I mean, people used to take radio. There was no television. It was radio. It was the end all and be all. People used to actually look up
yeah,
to the announcers specifically. So yeah, so
yeah. In
that's
fact, I remember
interesting.
FM coming to India, and my father was one of the first six people who was instrumental in bringing FM to India.
Acha.
And yeah, so it was, I mean, there was, yeah, All India Radio is like, has been really like home for me. And in fact, we used to watch cricket in Eden Gardens from my father's office ka chhat, because the AIR in Calcutta, the
Calcutta, yeah.
building is such that it's right next to Eden Gardens and it has a great balcony view from there. So we used to actually go there and watch some, games that were happening in Eden. So yeah, like lots of fond memories, really. Lots of fond
Wow,
memories.
man! Matlab not having to play, not having to pay for a match. Watching India play. Wow, yeah. And from the best seats, high up there.
Yeah.
Sahi hai.
Yeah.
This is good. Okay, take a sip if you remember, or in fact, it's if you've been outrightly told that you cannot fit the bill of a certain part just in the way you look, or if you've had a really, really nasty audition experience. Which
I'm
one
sure
is
I've
it
had.
for?
I mean, no, once I was told by a really big casting director that you can't be like, like some sort of, I don't want to talk about it because it's just like, no point now. But then she cast me like another, a few months down the line, I was cast by the same person. So, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But nobody was really nasty to me. Audition experiences, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of these random auditions that people have no idea what they're doing, and all actors have to go through it. Like I used to do 8-9 auditions every day. Yeah. And honestly, people treat women much better. The men have it very bad. The way people talk. Fit, not fit, not fit, fit, fit. अरे ऐसी शक्ल लेके क्यों आ जाते हो यार? I've seen that happen in front of me with my friends. So it's very heartbreaking that initial process, because people make it very just not nice. So yeah, I'm sure every actor has had a weird audition experience in Bombay.
Yeah, correct.
Of
All
some
right.
sort.
Take a sip. If you have tried trolling someone on social media or trolling someone back.
Not really.
You don't respond to trolls. You prefer not.
I do, but I do it nicely when of course, sometimes, and in fact, one day I did nothing in the lockdown. One day I was just replying to trolls. Okay, there was one particular, I had started India Against Abuse, and it was after that. And but I'm still quite nice, because obviously, the problem is that the followers or people can say whatever they want to you, but because you have a certain, I mean, you don't want to stoop that low, I mean, sometimes I feel like showing the middle finger, but it's okay. You have to be nice, and I'm generally nicely replying back saying, dude, like, please grow up, or like, read or inform yourselves. So like that. But I don't like the whole trolling. Why should I be mean to anyone? Yeah, I don't even know that person.
Okay, take a sip if you have one member in your family who is the most difficult to please even till date vis-a-vis your performances. Your biggest
My
critic,
mother.
who's that? Okay.
My mother, and she's very blunt. She's like, what did you do? Or very boring, yeah. Like that. But with everything, like she'll get up in a film and she's like, I can't deal with this actor, like that. She's very blunt. Yeah. And, but most of my friends are also very, very critical, extremely critical.
No, what is it that your best performance that your mother has been vocal about, admitting that, okay, fine, she liked you in it. Aisa hua hai, ya she's very difficult?
Yeah, she is very difficult, but once or twice I think it's happened. First time it happened in Jolly LLB 2, and she really liked that. And then I think Article she liked. And recently there's a plywood ad that I did, green ply ad. She really liked that. I think she realizes that she should be a little more appreciative of me. And she's maybe making an effort, like, you know, to do that, because she's never, ever, ever praised me. She's not a mother who praises ever. She's only going to tell you how badly behaved and how useless you are.
But that's
And what a
mothers for you,
waste
yeah.
of a human being.
Yeah,
No, no.
mothers
See,
would
listen,
always
I know
do
a lot
that.
of mothers who are doting. You know, a lot of mothers. I mean, there are different kinds of mothers, right? I mean, I've seen mothers of friends who are like, "Oh, मेरी बेटे ने ये किया, मेरी बेटी ने ये किया, अच्छा ये." And sometimes I find that very strange because I've not grown up with seeing like my mother behaving like that at all. People have to come tell her, "Ki, please, can you stop being so mean to your daughter?" I mean, she's very, very sweet, but yeah, she doesn't. It's a very different way of showing love, you know.
Okay, the weirdest comment that you've received from a loved one. Take a sip if it has been so weird that you felt like laughing after one of your performances or one of your shows or films that released.
My friend saw Article 15, one of my friends, and he's also been he's generally very critical. And FTI, people are very critical of each other's work, you know. So friends from FTI are also like that, you know, we're all the same, you know, even now. So he saw and he's like, "Us scene mein tune hug diya." I said, "Bhai, nahi." I said, "Tu koi bhi, matlab, you can say this about any film, and I'm generally very good with criticism. But I said, इसके बारे में तो मत बोल, और वो सीन तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हगा मैं."
I wonder how did Anubhav Sinha would take this potty talk. But God, it was brilliant. I mean, that's one of my favorite performances of yours. And, you know, I also wanted to talk to you about that transition that you make. I mean, how did he actually think that he can cast you, you know, as Gaura? Because I think Article 15 came after 4 More Shots ka pehla season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's funny because when Anubhav Sinha sir cast me, right outside his office is Infinity Mall, and there were these life-size, huge posters of us, of the 4 girls, right outside his office. So from his office, he could see my wala photo, you know, and it was very funny because he was. But that's a good director that there for you, you know, who have imagination. They don't fit you in boxes, and I mean, to me, I was like, wow, great, thank you. And I didn't think, why would anyone not see me as Gaura? Like, I see myself as Gaura, but I also see myself as Damini. So yeah, I think I can play both and many other, I mean, all kinds of roles. And I also look very different in different get-ups. Like, I can sort of transform Touchwood, which is, I mean, it doesn't take really effort from me. It's just how it is, you know, it's a God-gifted thing. And I'm very, very, very grateful for that, because I was like, thank God, you know, because you don't want to look the same for all your parts. So,
Correct.
yeah, I don't think it's a talent thing. It just happens to be, you know.
No, in fact, I was talking to this very, very promising actor, very young actor, and he happened to work with Irfan sir. And this is one thing that Irfan sir had mentioned to him, and he was mentioning it to me, that, you know, tu ek daadi rakh leta hai and tera chehra bilkul badal jata hai. And that's
Correct.
actually something which is a facet of your personality. You can use it to your advantage and become an actor. That's what pushed him into it. That was a very interesting story that he told me. So that's obviously that's a good thing. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how you fit the
Even
bill,
just
because-
hair, you know, hair, everything. Like, suddenly people have seen me and they're like, "Arey, you look so different." You know, like, people have come out of my own film screenings and said, "What did you do in the film?" I said, "Hello, I'm in the film that you just saw." And they're like, "Oh, really?" So, which is a great thing, because, you know, the only thing is that it would take time for you to become, I mean, for people to recognize you, because a lot of people, I mean, actually it's a good thing now, I realize, because it took a lot of time for people to recognize me, you know, start recognizing me in streets and stuff. But it was a good thing. I mean, I never thought it was, you know, but because I just look very, very, very different. In fact, I've been in parties, and this is a few years ago, so many times it's happened that in a social gathering, they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I say, "Oh, I'm this actor." It's like, "Oh, anything I've seen?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I don't like talking about the work, but I'm like, okay, maybe this and that." And they're like, oh, and once it happened in Kalki's house, one of her, somebody she knows, and she's like, yesterday I saw the film and I was talking about you. And this was fan she was talking about. So yeah, it happens all the time. It used to more often, now a little less, but that's a nice space to be in, actually, I think. It's fun.
And why I asked this question also, especially vis-a-vis Four More Shots, because, the series of films of yours that I'd watched before Four More Shots were a de-glam version of you. And this was an ultra-glam version, which came in as a surprise to most of the people and the viewers who were watching it. So, as an actor, do you actually approach a character like that? Do you like, okay, acha, glamorous role hai, non-glamorous? Do you even think in that direction? Yeah, do you think that's a deterrent key if I have to bother too much about the way I'm looking? Do you think that's something that you look at?
You should never bother about the way you're looking. You should be careful. I mean, that's what you are. There's a difference between looking good and looking right. I have no vanity when it comes to my, my work. I have absolutely no vanity. You can put me in anything, as long as it's right for the part, and it's right for the film or the show. So of course, the last thing you're thinking is, isme ye kapda hoga ya aise dikhne ko milega. That's like, why would you even go there, all you're thinking is, what the part is like and whether you would have fun doing it or not, if there's challenging enough, whether it's a director you want to work with, if there's enough for you to do in a part, and if your dates are working out and things like that. I don't think look is something that at all you're thinking about as an actor. You shouldn't. Okay. Why should you?
Okay. All right. Back to Sip and Spill. Take a sip if
Coffee.
You have regretted a role that you've done ever. Role or a part, an ad, anything. Never.
I never do stuff that I would regret. I'm very, very, very choosy, touch wood. I hope I don't have to regret ever. Please.
Okay. Take a sip if you have been starstruck on your own shoot set. Never. Okay. Take a sip if you've been jealous of an actor because of a certain role that he or she has played, which you thought you could also play. Just healthy jealousy that, oh, I wish I would have done something like this.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened. I don't remember what, but I'm sure it's happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next one. Take a sip if you have hitched a ride just because you did not have enough cash to probably hire a cab, or just hitched a ride with a random person, with a stranger. Never. Always been safe.
Never. I am. Yeah, dude. I was brought up by a single mother, and I'm very careful and cautious. My God, and especially, yeah, man. I'm not someone who does things like that.
Okay. Take a sip if you've had a stalker in real life. One that you probably got to know about, or you've had. Hey.
I won't talk about it, but yeah, very well.
Oh, it's scary. My God. I hope it was like one of
scary.
those SE random stalkers. Oh shit.
No. It was very scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 From stalker
That's
bit
true.
to happy bit, take a sip if you've received a love letter in your life. And in fact, if you've written a love letter in your life.
Both. Of course, यार. लव लेटर तो बचपन में क्या लव लेटर लिखते थे ना, और मिलता भी था.
क्या चीज कार्ड या प्रॉपर लव लेटर?
Love letters, cards, letters written with blood, and it was disgusting. But yeah,
ये blood वाले love letters, या मैं कल भी किसी से बात कर रही थी, those girls who told me that they received letters in blood. ये कौन लिखता है? मुझे नहीं मिला आज तक.
भाई, trust me, when you get it, it's not something you're happy about at all. It's like creepy AF.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Take a sip if you've made a fool of yourself in trying to impress a guy that you probably liked in school, college, or whenever, one point in your life. Just made a fool of yourself trying to impress someone. Never tried. Been smart that ways.
No, I've never tried to impress anyone. I've always been like that. So never really. Yeah, I've never really. I'm trying to think. If I've ever tried even in school and all, not really. Yeah. No, I remember
Last
actually.
one.
If I like someone, I get very rude. So I remember my first boyfriend, my first love. I mean, we were not dating at all, but you know, it was just like little bit of friendship had happened. And he was a senior and all, and he had said something, and I kicked him so hard on his sheen that he just like he literally dropped. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I'm not a violent person at all, but
Oh my God.
yeah, I don't know. So I'm actually very. If I'm being very mean to you, maybe I like you, you know, like that. So
But
yeah,
ये तो
if I
मैं-
really want to impress someone,
You'll hit
I'd
that
be
person in the sheen.
super mean. Not, I mean, that was only once when I was in class 9, but yeah, I got reminded of it. But I'm generally mean to people I like.